Have you ever walked into a place so beautiful that you stop talking? A place with fruit on the trees, water flowing gently, birds singing, flowers opening, and soft light everywhere. Now imagine that someone beside you said, all of this just happened by itself. Would that sound right to you? Today I want to tell you a story. It is simple, but once you see it, it becomes very hard to forget. Imagine a child entering a huge garden for the first time. At the gate, everything already looks full of care. The path is clean, the trees are lined up beautifully. The flowers bloom in different colors. The air smells fresh. The child takes a few more steps and sees tables of fruit. Bright apples, soft peaches, sweet grapes. Then the child sees fountains. Clear water rises and falls exactly where it should. Then birds appear. Not one or two, but many. Each one moving in its own way. Each one finding food. Each one singing. The child looks around and whispers, "Who prepared all this?" But beside the child is another person, and this person smiles and says, "No one prepared it. It all came by itself." The child looks confused. By itself? The child asks. Did the paths draw themselves? Did the fountains build themselves? Did the fruit arrange itself on the branches? Did the birds learn their songs all alone? The other person shrugs. "That is what I think," he says. So the child keeps walking. Soon they reach a part of the garden filled with tiny wonders. There are seeds in the soil, but inside each seed is a plan. From one seed comes a rose, from another a tall tree, from another fresh green grass. The child kneels down and stares. How can something so small know what to become? Still the other person says, "It just happens." They walk farther. Now they see that every living thing is being served. The bees find flowers, the flowers receive light, the roots receive water. The birds find branches, the branches carry nests. Everything is connected, everything is helped, everything arrives on time. The child grows quieter and quieter, because now the child is no longer only seeing beauty, the child is seeing order. And not only order, care, not only care, wisdom. The child says, "This does not feel empty, it feels looked after." That is the heart of the story. The world may look ordinary when we rush through it, but when we slow down, it starts to look like a place filled with signs. Bread on the table is not small. Rain from the sky is not small. A seed becoming a tree is not small. A bird knowing how to build a nest is not small. These are not tiny accidents. They are tiny miracles repeated every day. Risale-i Nur teaches us to look again at the world. Not with sleepy eyes, not with proud eyes, but with awake eyes. Eyes that ask, "What does this show me? Who is caring for all this? Why is there meaning everywhere I look?" Think about it. If you found no one is behind it. Maybe because they see the gift, but not the giver. Maybe because they see the order, but do not stop long enough to think about what order means. But the child in our story does stop. And at last the child says, "I cannot believe this garden has no maker. I cannot believe this care has no source. I cannot believe these gifts have no giver." And in that moment the garden changes. Not because the trees change, not because the birds change, not because the fountains change. The child changes. Now every fruit becomes a message, every flower becomes a reminder, every drop of water becomes a gift, and the world no longer feels silent. It feels full of meaning. That is one of the most beautiful things these stories teach. Faith does not make the world smaller, it makes the world brighter. You start to notice what was always there: mercy, provision, order, beauty, care. And once your heart learns to see them, even an ordinary day begins to feel extraordinary. So the next time you see a tree heavy with fruit, or rain falling at the perfect time, or a bird carrying food to its nest, pause for 1 second and ask yourself, is this an empty world? Or is it a world speaking quietly about its creator? Maybe the biggest lesson is this: the garden was never empty. We were just walking through it too quickly to notice. If this story made you think, stay with us for more simple stories that open big doors.